Welcome to Health Intentionally, where awareness, empowerment, and resilience meet. We're going to take some deep dives into some deep topics. So I hope you're ready to have a swim. Let's dive on in. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of Health Intentionally. I'm your host, Dr. DeWitt, and today we're going to talk about intentions and living a life on purpose. Because what better way to start this podcast than delving into intentionality, which is what we're all about here. So let's begin by defining what an intention is. An intention is a determination to act in a certain way, to have resolve, to have an aim or a plan or a determination to do something deliberately. Or, as I like to think of them, intentions are desires put into motion. Intentions can be a belief, a thought, or an emotion. They can be set out of fear or love. They can be consciously created or unconsciously created. And what we want to talk about today is the difference between conscious and unconscious intentions and how we can become more aware of our intentions, of our true intentions, so that we can have a say on the way that we live our life. And so that we can have a say on the choices that we make, which ultimately creates our reality. Now, I want to emphasize here that the goal with intentions is not just to make awesome choices, but it's also to understand the not so awesome choices that we make, so that we can better understand ourselves and what our true intentions are. This can help us get to know ourselves on a deeper level so that we can make changes that are more long-term. Let me give you an example. So let's say that you're about to start on a new diet. You tell everyone that you just want to be healthier. And so you try it out and you do really well for a few weeks. But suddenly it starts to become more difficult to make those healthier choices between a donut and protein and vegetables in the morning. And part of that can be because consciously we're telling ourselves that we're doing this because we want to be healthier, while potentially unconsciously telling ourselves that we don't like our body, that our body feels gross to us, and that ultimately our intention is to make our body unlikable. And when we have these opposing intentions going on, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, then that can often create this discomfort when we make a decision, or discontent, or unsatisfaction. And so the more often that we have to make these uncomfortable choices due to these opposing intentions, the more likely that we are to make decisions based on the strongest intention. And for some, the strongest intention is going to be the unconscious one, because unknowingly they've been strengthening this underlying intention with each choice that they've made in the past. And so this is the choice that we know best. This is the intention that we know to be true because we haven't yet uncovered it. And so until we take the time to pause between making decisions, we're likely to continue to repeat the cycle over and over of consciously telling ourselves one thing while unconsciously telling ourselves another. So how do we break that cycle? By doing just what I said and taking that pause, but not just taking the pause, asking yourself, what will this choice produce? What will this give me? What is the outcome that is likely to happen if I make this choice? And what is the underlying intention from this choice? Am I making this choice out of love or out of fear? And is this choice supporting my goal or is it sabotaging it? Now, the other key here is that we have to be honest with ourselves when we answer these questions. We have to be real, which isn't always as easy as it sounds. It's easy to tell ourselves and to tell others that, well, this is just how I am. I've always been like this. I've always made these choices. Or it's easy to tell ourselves or to tell others that I'm going to try again on Monday. Then I'm going to take it really seriously. It's going to be different on Monday. But what has really changed, or what have you changed about yourself or about your thinking or about your intentions that is actually going to get you the results that you want? Now, with Health Intentionally, we have 3 main pillars. The first one is awareness, the second one is empowerment, and the third is resilience. And the first one is awareness because if we want to make long-term lasting change, then we must take the time to become more aware of the choices that we already are taking that got us where we are. And if we don't take that time to self-reflect and to ask ourselves those tough questions that nobody else can answer for us, then we're not going to see those changes. We're not going to make those changes for long periods of time. They won't last. So awareness is really the first step to not only making long-lasting changes, but also to be able to know what our true intentions are so that we can begin to set intentions that point us in the direction that we want to go. Because the truth is, most of us are walking around aimlessly. We're walking around blindfolded without a clue as to where we are going. And I'm here to say that we have so much more of a say on how our lives can be led. And if we work within our realm of control, which are largely the choices that we make, then we can choose to live an intentional, healthy life. So I'm just going to wrap this up with a quick analogy that I've created for what an intention is, just to really hammer it in there, okay? So here it goes. In soccer, if you've ever played soccer or seen little ones play, then you know that it is chaos when you are little. It's just a bunch of kids running around, kicking the ball aimlessly, doing cartwheels, which is what I did. Just did cartwheels in the back, waiting for the ball to come my way, and kicking the ball as hard as I could in a general direction towards no one specific. That is what life looks like when you don't have an intention or a conscious intention. And what it looks like when you do have an intention is how they teach you in soccer to plant your non-kicking foot in the direction of where you want the ball to go. And when you follow through with that kick, it's going to go in the direction that you want it to go. And so intention here is planting the foot and pointing it in the direction that you want the ball to go and taking that pause, even if it's for a split second when you get really good, so that you are kicking the ball with purpose. And you're more likely to reach your goal when you do that. So whether your goal is to have a healthier relationship, or to eat more healthily, or to move more regularly, it's important for us to really take a deep inner look at what our current intentions are, whether consciously or unconsciously, and to begin to take that pause before making choices so that we can ask ourselves if the choice is supporting us or sabotaging us. As we begin to do this more and more, then we're able to surface those unconscious intentions and begin to make more deliberate intentions. And again, what does that mean? That means creating a life on purpose. So I hope that this introduction to intention gave you a little bit of clarity on what an intention is, what it can be, and how we can begin to shift them towards the direction that we want to go. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to having you along on this health intentional journey.